Did you hear the news? Did you listen to the news as being just human and you listen to the news? Did you listen to the news? You had to end up listening to the news. Makes sense, okay? You had to listen to the news because it's scary, but you had to listen to the news, okay? Anything that's terrifying will be very common. Alright? We have to get to the TV show, man. Okay? It will say the word for no reason at all. I think it is scary to attack a blatant word, by the way. I think that's the way that blatancy can actually become terrifying. Many times, so sometimes when something is blatant, it really doesn't do anything, you know? But if for whatever reason the video game itself, the movie, the media, whatever form it was, if the creator had some evil idea, okay, then it makes sense. And I always thought, like, it's like stupid in a way of like, you know what I mean? It's like there's the easy way, and then there's the stupid way, but then there's the stupid way, which is not stupid at all, but you think it's stupid, you know? So that is how it ended up just becoming so creepy. Also, another food item appeared, okay? Over time, another food item product appeared. And it was a really annoying food item product, but it happened. And the reason this food item product happened was just due to everything. Now, another creepy thing is yes, this really easily could be the idea of launching something, okay? Right? New product coming out, right? It could be of the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Very could be. Yeah. It really easily looks like it too. I don't know. When you attack something that's creepy, it's very difficult. You know? It's just very like scary. 4 minutes of it. It's like you were finding some way that you would think to yourself, okay, of that, right? Now, when I think of something intelligent like this is why it becomes creepy, okay? It's meant to do this. Trying to think if I forgot the other one for you, okay? Oh, I almost forgot. We had a cutscene, and we had an easy cutscene because normally a cutscene doesn't have voice acting, but this cutscene had voice acting, right? hmm I think scary is too much. Scary goes beyond what I would think. Okay, that's what makes it scary. Is it goes a little bit too far of like it thinks like your other YouTubers, your other people. See what I'm saying? Like it starts to think like other people. And actually, when I first started like any kind of creepy adventure like this, I know I was going to run into things like that. Also, I'm running into, okay, you gotta realize I'm running into a smart developer, right? Smart people. I'm also running into how somebody would think, okay? Which is it's very surprising. Um, if you're so fortunate to go to an event that is amazing, all right? If you're fortunate to go to that event, that's mainly where you'll run into something like this, okay? I think honestly, it's really cool to run into an event like this because you have like the simple event, okay? But then it's better when you get to the good event, right? The simple event is when you've had freedom, okay? That's another creepy thing. If you've had freedom at your event, if you've went to an event and you've had like, easy things, okay? And the only reason another company attacks another company, okay, is when the other company says, right? The other company says, man, I need to get a purchase. So then the other company, see how creepy this video is? The other company says, that's what you did to me. The other company wants vengeance. Look how scary this video is. This video is a common scary of like where we get into things. This one, this one's kind of messed up. Part two is like, I know anything with Shimigami Tensei, you should keep your eyes open. You know what I mean? Like anything that's Shimigami Tensei, should keep your eyes open. Okay. It's really hard to mention up Reload and then mention up Refantagio, but Vengeance was definitely going to be a thing. I already knew when it came to all the titles that Vengeance was definitely going to be something, okay? And also I knew through maybe even just another person, which is creepy. Maybe just another person that likes Atlas games, right? And kind of like, that's really demented, but like, I mean, Ishtar by far is a character that you have to get to when you think about Shimigami Tensei, okay? And yes, Ishtar is creepy, and yes, Ishtar does, with every little common thing that we're talking about, that Ishtar does have something. And yes, Ishtar is messed up in the head of like doing things it's not supposed to do with blatant, right? It's not supposed to be around the environment of that, but then again, right? I pity sometimes the character of a video game says something really crazy, like I pity, to let you know of something else, So they say, like, I pity. Pity is by far, in media terms, okay? And it is definitely like a very crazy one. Commercials, TV shows, Old Spice, it's just one of those, right? Deodorant. I've went a little too creepy, okay? But, like, I mean, come on. Shulk's blonde hair, man. Right? You know what he is. You know what happens to Viora. So, we are celebrating 25 years in connection to an event. That's why it's kind of scary, but it's awesome. 25 years. Xenogears is a game of description. Xenogears is not surrounded by one thing. It is surrounded by Jak and Daxter. Going back to the voice acting, right? That's a lot of voice acting. The voice acting just carried its way, right? And I don't know about the precision, but I do know that something does, see what I'm saying? It does carry itself. This is how it carries itself, okay? When another company and two companies decide to go against each other and another company goes against itself, its previous format, even if it is not to hit another video game, right? Even if it's not to do that, it would still give you some kind of idea, right? Okay? It was paired with the legendary one. That was the whole thing. It was not my thought. It was not my opinion. It's just paired with the legendary Sonic and Knuckles. And Sonic and Knuckles is by far the legendary Best Buy moment. One of the legendary Best Buy moments of Sonic and Knuckles, okay? It was just basically getting back into the introduction of how Sonic was a female. The idea was Sonic was going to be a female. Pajama Sam was at that time. Tekken was at that time. Goku and Frieza. Godzilla. And the rude thing is we still have another human that was rude and scary before any of our other rude and scary humans. Shia LaBeouf. He's a pretty rude human and he's scary. And he thinks like in a certain different kind of way, right? Starbucks, I kind of consider Starbucks a little bit rude. So I do consider Starbucks a different kind of thing of like different people you're meeting and different stuff happening around you. I think people are still nice and considerate even when they're using too much of their brain power, okay? Which is another scary thing, but I think like they're trying to stay in something they've been staying in. You know what I'm saying? They've stayed in something. Because they're surrounded by some other person that wants to play Kingdom Hearts, okay? Sora. So as much as you'll see a 5, you're going to see a 4, okay? And I've always found 54 to be the thing, okay? And like half of 90, 45. And then eventually 35 and 53 will be like later, okay? But, I mean, 55 and 30, 35 and 53 were kind of explained in a scary way of this, though, so. It was not normal thinking about Enemy Zero. You know what I'm saying? Like, Enemy Zero is not like kind of like a normal thing to think about. James Bond is definitely a thing too, okay? So James Bond is another thing of, I would say, of like humans that are using their brain power a little bit too much, okay? But James Bond is like a thing of like movies. So yes, you are surrounded not by like one's, you know what I'm saying? You're not surrounded by like one different form. You're surrounded by both of them, which is hilarious. Like as much as that you're by the one that's always going to be a piece of crap to you, you're surrounded by another one, okay? As a matter of fact, then that's when you end up seeing the other one that is character, okay? A real human being that is quite a character. Be a little bit more than the one that you thought. Mm-hmm. That's the art of being scary. Some some that don't want to be like that, they still end up being like that just to let you know certain things. Some that do not want to be like that, but they're like, you know. This is the idea of making a good video using your voice, but it's like, it's showing you that there is depth. Now, hopefully, I get to the other aisle, or I get to like the other moment where I'm just kind of like not making this so confusing, but like I get, you know. But guess what? It was pretty easy the way I did it. So, I mean, cocoa butter, it was kind of easy the way I did it, okay? Shower gel and cocoa butter, all right?